35. Just a reminder, if you were here, you already know. If you were here every day, you already know this. But on page 58, on page 58, we did a bit of a review on how to use trig, okay? So if you have a pair, you want to use sine law. It always starts with pairing up the angle you know with the side you know. And remember, if you have two angles, guys, you can always find the third angle, no exceptions, okay? If it's an isosceles, how many angles do I need to give you if it's an isosceles triangle? I only need to give you one if it's an isosceles. What are you talking about? Like, okay, just a quick example. If this is an isosceles and I give you that this is 100, I know it's small. This is on page 58. If this is 100, we know that these two are the same, right? They measure the same. What's 180 minus 100? 80. Split that in half. That means that this is 40 and this is 40. So if it's an isosceles, you only need one angle. Boom, you got them all. Okay? And then also, let me just put a little bend there. And then also cosine law. Cosine law works in a situation where you have side, side, side. All three sides are given. Guys, focus now. If you have a side, 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 you have to be careful because you can solve for any angle you choose. Or so if they ask you for a specific angle, you got to make sure if it's angle Z that you're trying to find, you got to have that side across from it at the back of that formula. And if the top number here is negative, you have an obtuse, 0, it's a right triangle, positive, it's acute. If it's side angle side, you're going to have to take the square root at some point to get your final answer. Okay? All right, let's go to 35. And I'll do that, and then I'll give you a little bit of time to work. If it takes too long, we'll just start the AC. And if you get interrupted, we get interrupted. It is what it is, okay? Okay, so in this case, when you had a three-letter angle notation, go find it. Angle fun, right? So F-U-N, this right here. How do you find that angle? You use the property of a straight line. Okay? Guys. Otherwise, we have to sit different spots. Okay? If this is 50, then this is 130. I know that because a straight angle is 180 degrees. Okay? So this is 130. That's where it all started. So please make sure, don't just write it on your diagram. You actually have to tell me what angle, what that angle is. What is the measure of that angle? Okay, this is on page 35. Next, what's the distance between the dish and the plane? The dish is here, the plane is there. Call it something. Call it X. What scenario do you have there? Side angle side, right? So 1.86, 2.75. This is the one we want, side angle side. Okay, so side angle side is calls for cosine law. The formula for this particular case is x squared is equal to 1.86 squared plus 2.75 squared minus 2 times 1.86 times 2.75 cosine of 130. Okay. Then we take the square root of all of this. Let me just look for the key here. That is 17.597. You type it all in one swoop. And there we have, it's 4.19 miles. And it makes sense that it's the longest side because it's across the largest angle. And so you got that. The angle of elevation between the ground and the Tish's line of sight. Let me just zoom out on this one. And I use a highlighter for this one. Angle of elevation between the ground and the line of sight, they're asking for this angle right there. Okay? So we can call that angle N. It's asking for it, right? What law can you use for that one? Side, side, side. We actually have now created a side, side, side scenario, right? We know all three sides, so we could use that. Or we could use sine law, because we have a pair now, right? It's up to you. I believe that I have the key here. The angles are a little bit different. One is 1988 and the other one is 1997. And that's okay. That was just me not being careful when I came up with the numbers. I should have picked the numbers that were a bit closer to what it actually should be. But that's okay. You're not going to get dinged for it, okay? So it's sine of 130 over the side I just found. Sine of n. I'm going to show you both because I'm reviewing both laws in one swoop, right? Sine of n over 1.86. I'm going to zoom into that. So sine of n is 4.19. Sorry, that's wrong, right? That's 1.86 times this. Sine of 130 divided by 4.19. You type all of this in, you get 0.340, and that keeps going. To find angle n, you take the inverse. And that is 1988. We also have a side, side, side. So cosine of n, do this just for practice sake, okay? Cosine of n, we want the side that's across from angle n. We want that to show up here. And then the other two sides, in no particular order, you put them here. And that's 2 times 4.19 times 2.75. You do the top, you do the bottom. You get 21.659. You get 23.045. That's 0.939 something. What kind of angle will this be? This is positive, right? Positive. It will be acute. We already know that. But this is just to make note of that. Angle N is 19.97. Anybody find the height? I don't need you to be able to do that necessarily, so I'll just leave it. You can make a 90. Just cut a 90 into it and solve. If you looked at the key, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Can I ask you to work, try 38 and then 39, okay? 39 goes through leasing, so it's reviewing leasing a little bit. Get ready for the AC, otherwise have the formulas.